Oh man. We're so excited to be here.
Felt like
We
forever.
missed y'all.
Shih Tzu Terriers.
It has been absolutely forever. You guys already know what it is. Welcome to the after discussion with Jaimi and Gus. This is the pre-show for the new season 7 of Ready to Love Miami.
305.
The 305. I'm so excited. Miami is spicy. Miami is saucy. Miami has a lot of flavor. So I'm really excited to see what they do with this new episode, this new season 7.
I mean, just from that little sneak peek of a minute, it's something that they've let us all watch so far. It definitely has a lot more spice than last season's, I feel like, right?
A little.
Like, they're like a little cayenne pepper, make it a little caliente.
A little caliente. I always got to go to our Chizat.
Not paprika.
What up?
Cayenne.
Yeah, not
hey,
paprika, cayenne. What's going on, girl? We missed you too. We miss being here. We miss our people. We miss the show. Gus, I miss you. I haven't talked to you in a few days.
Right?
So yeah, what you guys can expect this episode. We're gonna, catch up on the last cast a little bit, talk a little bit about what we've got going on, and discuss what we're hoping to see in the next season. So let's have some fun. All right. I've been nosy on the socials.
You sure have.
I know. I've been nosy on the socials.
It's good. We need it. We need the nose in the
But before we get into that, look what I made.
Oh, what's that?
Okay, so this is my first old fashioned that I threw together. So I have and don't look at my nails. Okay, when my life is changing, I pick my nails. So whatever. This is my new rocks glass. I have a piece of good ice in there. I did a Woodford Reserve, and I threw in a little simple syrup and some Angostura bitters. I don't know if that's technically it, but it tastes banging.
That's it. That's what an old fashioned is. I mean, traditionally you get like the cubes of sugar and you put it down there, you grind it up, and then you stir it in with your thingy. But the bitters is like to your choosing of how many little shakes you want to put in there. I always like do 3 to 4. Whenever I make my old fashioned, people are always like, "Oh my god, this is such a good old fashioned." And I literally, if I'm using simple syrup, it's a little drip. That's it. You don't want it to be. You don't want to overtake the bourbon. The whole point is to really enjoy the essence of that barrel feeling. That like, I'm in a Western cowboy.
Yeah. So I put about a teaspoon.
You can make it as sweet as you want, but
I like that.
Like
that's
sweet
good.
Tea, but okay.
Exactly. That's what I was gonna say. I put a teaspoon. I like it, but I can see how that would be too sweet for others. And then they say do a dash of the bitters, but I did like 2.5, 3, and maybe that's why it's so good.
Yeah, I always do like 3.
Yeah, I love it. So I'm really excited. I've been building my bar exactly, and I'm not complaining now.
I don't know if I like this. Whatever, it's all good. All right.
I love it. I think you look great, and you look very youthful, and your skin looks amazing.
Thank you. It's the light in this computer. It's very generous.
Or just you have good skin, and you're just handsome. You could just also leave it at that. Might be what it is.
Okay. Well, if I do this mask or Aztec mask after this, that could be the truth. So let's leave it there.
Shoot, I need to do mine. It's been like a couple of weeks. Maybe 2 weeks.
B, where did you hear this, B? Who are your sources? Tell us everything. We're listening.
I mean,
you could just tell from the trailer. Likewise. You might have
missed the trailer.
I wish we could watch it on here. I don't know how Sabrina does that, where she like watches it with the people.
You can set it up that way, but I didn't pre-set it up that way. But what I did pre-set up was a couple of clips that I pulled from Instagram, so we could just refresh and have fun and talk a little bit about the last cast and what they're up to now. So one of the first things I wanted to talk about is this throuple right here.
Shut up.
Who do we have here? That would be Carmen, Joy, and Clifton.
The throuple. The throuple.
They're a throuple. Carmen does not care. Where Joy and Clifton go, Carmen will follow. They rolling. They rolling.
No one needs to know where Carmen is because she's with them. Like, the old thing, where in the world is Carmen Sandiego? You probably don't know that. B definitely doesn't because she's 4.5. Everybody else will watch this. But anywho, like,
yes.
try to find Carmen Sandiego in her little red getup. Well, we don't ever need to really look further than those two. And she is there.
She's right there.
Really
She's right
easy.
there, either in Clifton's pocket or in Joy's back pocket. She's in the passenger side, the back seat, here for it. And they all look like they're having a really good time. Look, if Clifton and Joy did not appreciate her company, those are two individuals that could be very clear about, like, she can't sit with us. So I think they're just having fun. It is what it is.
She's invited to their throuple cookout, no doubt. She's welcome for sure.
Seriously. And it's been interesting watching her. Yeah, go ahead.
Well, no, just Joy and Clifton seem to be doing fantastic. Just
they really
making
do
moves and changes together, just making it work. That's the whole point, people. It's what you do when you're grown and sexy. It's really simple.
That's what you do when you're grown.
When you got something good, you hold on to it and you make it work. You don't let the fear, you passed all that shit. Thank God we knew it was gonna happen with them. You can tell they both were in it to make it work.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not making that shit.
Yeah, I love it because, like you said, it is being grown, but it's also making a choice and recognizing what you have. Because a lot of people, you can be of age. Yeah, exactly. But to recognize what you actually have and to dive in and to move forward, I'm inspired. Even when I was pulling little clips. Oh, what's up,
Najee?
He said, hey, y'all. I just want to say I was right.
About what
Clifton
now,
and Joy or about Carmen Roland?
Which one?
Tell us, Najee. Good to see you in the house.
So good to see you. Yeah, and I need to know what you're right about because yes, you have been right many a times, and so I need to know which time you're speaking of specifically, please, so I can entertain it.
Yes. Yeah, so I'm very inspired by Clifton and Joy. I definitely feel like, she's sexy, he's sexy, and they're doing this thing. They genuinely are attracted to each other, which I love. It's so important. And they just flow, they mesh, they mix, they match. You can just see it. I believe that. I believe in that.
Yes, that grown and sexy love. It's really beautiful.
Mm-hmm. All about Clifton and Joy.
What did he say about them? I don't remember.
He was right. I guess that, they was going to be together. Let's look at all this.
And no matter what the storm may bring, I'm fine with you. And the point of it all is I love you.
Really cute. They're having fun. I love it. Loving all the embracings.
It's so sweet. Now, personally, I would not do that shit. I get that they're on a TV show and they have to they're marketing themselves. They're gaining their track. They're playing the business game really, really well. And if I were on a dating show and I was in their shoes, yeah, I'm sure I'd play the game accordingly because it's money in your pocket, right? But just I don't know, personally for me, I'm not all about that, oh, let's set this up and show everybody how in love we are. I don't gravitate toward that identity of social media sharing and telling my existence to everybody to validate everyone else's experience, kind of. And I'm not saying they're doing that, but it's kind of just innately what happens in this metaverse that we call social media, right? Not really my thing. I in public, sure, yeah. I'm not anti-affection. It's just, I don't know. I don't, it's not fun to me unless I'm getting paid to do it. If I'm getting paid to do it and it's pushing my brand, sure. I can understand that. What about you?
Yeah, no, I love that you brought that up because I actually feel the same way. And sometimes I hesitate to say certain things. It's so invasive. And I'm I hesitate to say because I'm like, oh my God, what if I'm really crazy, whatever about this man? Maybe I will be somebody that posts them. I don't know, but it's not me. I enjoy the privacy. I couldn't imagine being embraced with my boo in a solid moment, pulling out my phone, setting 100%. It up so the angle, pressing 100%. Record, and then hugging each other. I just can't see that. You know what I'm saying?
Taking myself out of the moment. Why would I take myself out of the moment that is present? Like, it makes no sense.
I don't understand it either. It's not the way, I just,
No,
yeah.
I'm not into it. It's really that simple.
Yeah, it's really that simple. So I completely agree with you. But like you said, there are dynamics to this. They were on a reality show. They were already on TV in public and seen with all of this. This is a little bit of keeping up with appearances. And I don't even know what other stuff they're getting and what they're, what it's leading to. But I could see in the future some kind of couple this or having them back for this and that, and to show that
they're making it work. They're getting paid
or whatever
possible.
Correct.
By doing that, I get it. They're making what you just said, the future that is still to be told, or possibly negotiations for all we know. They're making it possible. So good on them for that. I see a lot of couples like, promoting things and doing things. I know that I just see couples doing it, right? They have ads together and that's great. Good for them. That's awesome.
Yeah.
I can't say that I wouldn't do that, but
exactly.
I would never bust my phone out in an authentic moment and then just stop it, just record it to share with the world. Unless you were paying me a lot of money.
Exactly. Really simple.
And even then, I would avoid it just because I like really enjoying and being immersed in the moment. I really enjoy being present the older that I get.
Yeah.
I can't even do it for myself or social media because everyone's like, that was just such a social media. Oh, that was so. Oh, it's always like, and I was like, if I had cameras on me 24 hours a day, and
that's one thing.
Sure,
that's
you'd
one
have
thing.
a lot of content. There's no doubt about that.
Right.
But I don't find it entertaining or enjoyable to take myself out of just being to capture it just to gain audience and following and money. But that could change because look at all these really famous people that do it, and they spend their whole life on social media because it's generating income for them when their other revenues of income aren't coming in. So I get it, but that's kind of where I find in myself the awareness of like, oh, I've always known this, but just in the awareness of like, I don't do it for the fame. I'm not an artist to be famous, showcase my life and be like, I am famous, watch me. Will Smith's great at that. Gabrielle Union's great at that. They love that. That's a part of it for them. You can tell they enjoy that aspect of their career. It's not how I am. It's not how I work.
Right.
So sometimes I kind of feel like I don't know if I belong in this current reality. It was hard for me to understand and imagine the game before because I'm not good at playing it. Like I just saw this guy Asher. Okay, so if you watch Beverly Hills Housewives, I just watched an episode. This guy Asher is dating Diana, the housewife, who was like a millionaire.
Oh, love that.
I know Asher because he used to date Ashley, and he was like always 10 years younger than us, and he was like in some boy group that never worked. So she has to be in her 60s. He has to be maybe 30, and it's just you just know that they are together because they play the whole Hollywood game. They play in the same circles. They're constantly networking. They're always on. They're always on, and they're wrapped up in that reality of which exists in Los Angeles and Hollywood.
Yes,
nothing wrong with that. Live your best life. That is
right.
They're happy and they have a lot of money. Okay,
right.
He's loaded because of her now. They're about to get married. Great.
He's marrying her.
Yeah,
that's insane.
Yeah, he has to be like 30. Yeah, and
making moves.
But he always had that personality, that charisma, that knew how to play the game. It's a really specific way to play this game, right? You really have to know how. And what I'm trying to get to is, I'm not good at that. It doesn't work for me. I don't get off by mixing and mingling and rubbing shoulders with these people who, at the core of their values, I don't really agree with the way they move and live their life. It's just not authentic to me. Money and success in that sense isn't important to me like that as it is for my authenticity. Anyway, I went there just saying that's why it's hard for me to not hard, it's just different for me to try to adapt to this current standard.
Yeah, I mean, we're very similar in that because I have moments too where it's like, oh, it's just so funny, or I could have taught this or said this, or even some of our conversations, or I'll have quick thoughts that I feel like I can share, and I'm just not as good as like busting out my camera and going for it. It's a lot. It's very invasive, like we said. And it's just, I'm not used, I live in real life and I think I'm okay with that. I'm going to try my best.
Is what it is, and your reality suits you. You understand your reality very clearly, especially nowadays, right? Their reality is real to them.
And it's
that reality is really real to them.
Yeah.
You know, that is their existence. You can hear by the way they talk about things, the way that they move, the way they treat people. I understand it because I was in that world for so long.
Yeah.
That's their reality.
No, it is.
Cool. That's cool. That they literally live in a different, it's like the Matrix. You watch the Matrix, you watch all these different people and their realities, and that's just, it's what it is.
But you know, we create our reality as we know. So it's like, if we chose to create in that type of space, it would work for us. It would look like whatever. But I can already tell, even sometimes when I'm just on my phone too much, I start to feel disconnected from myself in a particular way that I just couldn't see myself diving fully in to be a social media, this or that. Like I said, I'm going to try my best to share certain things when it comes to being specific about my messaging, but just to be on all the time and trying to be here and there. You know, I didn't do Hollywood the same way you did, but I was in it and it was exhausting trying to keep up with people and staying seen before social media, all of the events, the showing up to, I mean, it's just a lot. And I'm okay if nobody sees my beauty or my banging body or how smart I am or my brain or the cocktails or food that I make. I kind of don't even give a damn. This is just what I'm doing over here. You know what I mean? So it's just like, where do we find the happy medium? I guess that's where we're living right now.
Yeah, and good for them that they really enjoy it. They really that's their reality. I think for myself personally, I wanted to get to the part where you were saying it's just that yes, we create our reality, but I think when you are being authentic is when you are able to really create and cultivate your truth. And I think your truth is actually a lot more fulfilling, just even when it comes to a lifetime than something else. And that is fulfillment for them. And it was really difficult for me to realize like, that's not my fulfillment. That's not my standard. That's not my way of life. That's not how I move. I have been in the industry my whole life. I am an artist. I'm extremely great at my craft. And it was so hard to be like, well, if that's the case, then you should be like them. You should have the same identity. You should have, and it's like, it just doesn't work. And it's far and few between for people like myself and that are in this industry that are not attached to that reality as their authenticity.
But I mean, look at people like Johnny Depp. He'll go move out of the country. He shows up when it's time to be the Pirate of the Caribbean or whatever else he's doing. And he's not really on the scene like that. I kind of get that vibe. Like he's doing his own thing, but he's a blockbuster star who does his work. He shows up, he gives you the film. He don't even watch his films, he said.
He did when he was younger. I think a part of him playing the game that way is why he is where he is. For sure. When he was younger and hot in Hollywood, he dated the right people. He played the game really, really, really well.
Right.
And even what you're saying, he has this lifestyle now, and that's freaking awesome.
That's
the dream. But he got that because he played the game. And so just a little personal, I'm just like, I'm not playing the game. So what does that look like for me?
Right.
What does that look like for me?
It looks like this.
To be determined.
Right.
TBD.
Well, I can say when it does come to TBD, oh, boo. Okay, so I was going to talk about Dakia's engagement, and the video wouldn't upload. But you guys can go to Dakia's page. Yeah, technology was giving me a hard time. But you guys can go to Dakia's page and see it. Dakia is engaged. She's done a whole little video. Even when she was at the reunion, I remember her talking about not being pressed. Like, this isn't about that. She was sharing her truth about how she felt about Clifton not being forthright with her. You know, Joy got really upset. It was a little tight. She was in tears, but not because of hopelessness. Just, you know, her trying to express herself and share how she felt and being a little offended, but knowing that she's in this relationship and now she's engaged. So I'm excited for her. Like, it happened pretty quickly, maybe because she was open and she was in the space of love, 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 love. And it didn't happen on the show, but it happened right after. Shout out to her. I'm not mad at it. What are your thoughts? Did you see the video and did you see her man?
Yeah, you sent it to me. Thanks to you.
Oh, I did send it to you.
Mm-hmm.
I'll be on it.
I don't know how I feel about it, and it doesn't even matter how I feel about it. Besides the fact that she looks happy and he looks happy,
right?
Awesome.
But
my instincts kind of flare up, kind of like. But you know what? Who cares? Who cares if it lasts? If it doesn't? I was just talking to somebody. It was like, who cares? Even if it lasts for a season. She's enjoying this season, and when it ends, it might be a hurricane or tornado that destroys the season. That's fine, or it might be nothing. It could be a drought, or it could be really healthy, and it could be like, okay, it's done. But cheers to them for going on the adventure and seeing where it lands them, whether it's too fast or too slow, or who knows? Who cares? I mean, my feelings changed on Takia watching the reunion. The whole season.
How so? Wait, tell me.
I just
the
felt
whole
like
season you were what? And then
I was standing for Takia. I loved her. I think she was great. We had those conversations on the other thing with Sabrina and the guys, and I was like, she da. But then I just started to feel a little different watching her in real time, and the way she was reacting to things, and seeing more of the behind the scenes footage and conversations that were happening. And so then I just started to be like, okay, well, who knows? And so now I just don't really have an idea of how she's moving, and I really don't need to have one, actually. It's her life. Sorry, I know that's what we're here for, but I don't know. I wouldn't be surprised if it didn't last. There you go. There's the juice that you want.
Okay, cool.
Right?
That's fine. You know what I mean? Like, that's the reality.
But I wish them the best and enjoy every moment that they have together.
Of course. And that's all you can do. I get what you're saying about, I've kind of... my brain is a little dusty on last season, but I do understand what you're saying. I can't really put my finger on Takia myself. I'm happy for her. I think it's so beautiful when a woman feels chosen and doing all the things. These are the things she said she wanted. So it appears that that's what she has. But I think for me, my misunderstanding with her came with the Eric situation. When that whole situation with Chef came, I just wasn't sure who I was dealing with when it came to Takia. And it's still a big question mark. It's not like I like her any less or love her anymore. It's just, I feel you. There's really I don't have a big hypothesis on her, what she got going on. But I'm happy that she's happy.
And I do think it can happen that fast. There's no doubt about it. And I did believe that she's somebody that was ready and capable of it just happening that fast. So, maybe this is her forever. I do believe that is possible. It can happen overnight. Especially if you keep working on you don't have to keep working on yourself, but if you're just really present, you're just really aware and present and just like really, I guess, essentially doing the work. And I hate saying that because I don't want you to think about it like, oh, I have to keep doing the work, this arduous life and work. No, I'm just, if you're conscious, if you're aware, if you're living authentically, if you're kind, if you're thoughtful, if you're making sure that if you're an open vessel of love, are you emulating in a vibrational frequency with love? Are you? Then great. Then you can attract that, and it can happen as quickly as possible, especially if you attract that other person who's vibing at that frequency. And why wait so long to get engaged and get married if you both are up there? Awesome.
Yeah. No, I agree.
And it takes work to be in that frequency is what I'm trying to say.
It does. It does. And to stay there because, when you're dealing with a whole other person, especially somebody that's in your house and you're this, they're going to have to be patient with each other. They're going to have to maneuver each other. There's going to be stuff about each other they're not going to like. It's going to be hard to deal with. They're going to have these seasons and all of that. So yes, the ability and the willingness to operate from love are very important to have cultivated ahead of time. You're going to learn more on the way because this is a new situation. But to have those types of things cultivated ahead of time will only be helpful when the road gets rocky. Because I don't know if you remember, but when we were talking to Tori, and we had him on last season as a guest, he was talking about how in DC in his area and everything, it's like you make one mistake or one thing looks off, it's whatever, everybody's ready to throw each other away. And we do kind of get in that space this day and age. It's very microwave. You know what I'm saying? If I buy you a microwave dinner and you throw that $5 meal in there, you could forget about that. And if we do, we throwing it out. But you're not going to forget about Thanksgiving dinner. You're not going to pass on that plate, if you know what I'm saying. So it's just you know, as quick as you get it, it could be as quick as you throw it out, or you're going to sit there and you're going to savor it and you're going to try, I'll try these sides. I'll try this. It smells so good. You're just more open. You're ready to cultivate and not throw your plate out so quickly. You want to be there with it. You want to experience, and you're okay with it.
Savor every bite.
You know? Yes.
Savor every bite. Yeah. And DC, I think when he said that too, DC is like a mini LA when it comes to me. When it comes when it comes to that whole that mentality. I mean, everybody moves to LA, so you do one thing wrong, and there is somebody else right next to that person that just did something wrong that you're ready to say next to. Hence why they say, and I am definitely in agreement with, and you are too, that LA is the worst place in the world to date somebody.
It is. It's even worse than New York.
People, yeah, because at least in New York, I feel like my personal opinion is that like there's some base of reality to those people.
Absolutely.
Like people that move to New York, it's such a big city and it's such a huge commerce, and because people go there because they've already embedded it in business and their awareness is there. Everyone moves to LA with the idea and fantasy of a life, and because they were the best in their small little town. But they didn't really accumulate like the status to really already push themselves into a working force like you do in LA or in New York most of the time, or at least start to take those steps up the ladder because of what you've gone through in college and blah, 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 blah. Just a different beast in LA. So you have just a lot of people who are still more so finding themselves, and in that they are just running through people because they don't know what they want and they just need some type of touch or attention or whatever that is in the journey of finding themselves. And it's a really, really difficult place to find yourself in Los Angeles. So for the people that do, I always take my hat off to them because it's probably one of the most impossible places in the galaxy that we know of and don't know of to find yourself, because you can be led astray by so many different ideologies just to fit in and just to be seen or heard, because you're not most of the time and you're rejected most of the time. So you start to lose yourself and
your self-worth is challenged.
It's just all there. So how could you expect to give somebody another chance when it comes to love and say, and look past that, or you give too many because you're not really aware of your worth. Right. So it's a difficult place. And so I'm not saying that with the connotation of just being shady and being like, LA's the worst. I'm saying I understand from a psychological, from a spiritual dynamics of why it is what it is. It's a beast. And I don't, there's like a handful of people that I know in LA that are together that my own personal feelings that I think are in legit, really beautiful relationships for my idea of what love is. And that's out of all of Los Angeles and these Hollywood couples. There's not many in my idealism. And that's going back to what we were saying earlier. It's like, it's just a different mentality. It's a different reality, right?
Correct. Yeah. All of that. It definitely presents a lot more challenges in an already challenging situation. It's already challenging to learn to love yourself, to cultivate your self-worth in a whole and genuine way, to acknowledge and honor your own value, let alone all of it, let alone meeting another person with the same
who's on the same roller coaster
hurdles. Yeah. And then making that work together. So when you throw LA in the mix of that, it almost sounds impossible, which is why I can see exactly why you say there's a few people. It's only a few, because the rest is business moves, money, comfortability, deals. I mean, there has been, I don't even want
And which takes me then to Miami, which I'm trying to say is more to me like in a likeness than DC was. So I'm looking forward to seeing how that plays out now with the mentality of these people going into to this experiment and to the show. And it's, it's because Miami's it's a lot like LA when it comes to that, much more than DC. So I'm looking forward to seeing how fucked up they all are.
I know.
Or not.
or
but just
not.
whatever. I'm just
because
looking
everybody
forward
looks
to
really
seeing.
cute and sweet in the beginning, and I'm just like, oh, she looks great. He looks nice. Da-da-da. But you know, there's going to be some shenanigans. And just to let y'all know, I actually know somebody personally on the show, and I can't wait to see how she does, what she gets into, because her personality, she definitely fits someone being on a show like this. Like, she's fun. She has her wild side, but she's very genuine. And I don't know what to expect. So I'm excited. I'm gonna watch my own somebody. Like, we ain't best friends, but we know each other for sure. We had a whole season together. So I'm really excited to see how that, just knowing a little piece of her, like, okay, how's this gonna play out? I'm excited. It's gonna be crazy.
And that means that you're gonna be cheating a little bit on our little, predictions, or just, our
Maybe I'm gonna try to keep it real
of everybody. But yeah, no, that's awesome. It's great.
Well, that's what I have you for.
Yeah, there you go. I can be the
the realist.
Oh,
exactly.
Well, I'm looking forward to it. I'm really looking forward to it because I don't think I've met her. If I haven't, I don't remember.
You haven't met her, and yeah, you wouldn't have met her because.
So yeah, Miami.
Yeah, you just
Miami.
Yeah. Miami, ready to love Miami. What were we doing? Okay, so being the nosy person that I am, looking around on socials and just catching up with the last cast, I caught a little bit of, since we were just talking about Carmen, who, by the way, seemed to very quickly, I mean, it was like her and Donovan did Christmas, and then I never saw them together again. I see her posted up with any man you could think of on the planet except Donovan. So I was like, okay, I'm guessing that didn't work out. But I wasn't shocked.
Actually, I wonder if they needed one couple besides Joy and Clifton to last a little longer, just for the namesake, for the contract. That's what I start thinking. That's what I go to. I'm like,
yeah, because I never bought them.
No.
I mean, it looks fun.
I bought the idea of it because I think fun.
Yeah, fun.
100%.
I'll go on a trip with you. You're fine. I'm having fun, but
but they need to, when a show only. Sorry, I'm buttoning this, so titties are out. You can't really see the thing.
The breasts.
Chesticles. With the show, they have to output essentially more than just one successful couple, or else is their show being successful? So, I wonder if those types of things go on behind closed doors. They can't talk about it.
And then it makes me think, right? I always think of, even when I'm not saying, how do I say? I don't know Donovan, but even with his interaction with Sabrina 2.0, even though I don't feel like all of that was his fault, Sabrina had her own things and whatever, it's just, there was something in that had me, I don't know about Donovan sometimes. You know what I'm saying? So I'm not shocked. You can't go from woman to woman and expect it to work, in my opinion. There's something there when you're doing baby mama, somebody, then I just broke up with them, then I get on the show and me and her are arguing, then I found a girl, and then I did it. It, to me, it's not going to stop until it's you. There's something, I'm not saying there's anything wrong with him, but I'm just saying there's something that he has going on that I can't really, I don't know. I'm not shocked.
I don't think he's in the season to be ready to love, is how I think of it. I think he's in a different season, whether he's aware of it or not, which is experimenting, playing around, doing all that, finding himself, all those things. It's just so fresh for him. People do it. It's a really small percentage of people, but when you hop out of something and you jump into something else so quick, how can you expect for your patterns to not be the same and expect them to actually work with somebody else? Even if you're a better match, have you actually come to the realization of things that you're doing that aren't healthy for yourself or that other person? And it takes time for that. That takes experience. And a lot of people do that while dating other people and figure it out and, move on to the next, like they do. So who knows? It just seems like he's in a different season.
With
well,
Donovan,
I don't know where he is now.
Well, and I'll share a clip after I say this. I feel like it's one of two things with Donovan. Either he's not ready and he's not being honest with himself because he might have the pressure of, and I'm not saying this specifically, but you know how it goes with like religion or age, or you have 2 kids, or his mother might be saying something that, like, you look around and people look at you as a man and your age and your setup being like, you need to find somebody. But he can't be real about, I don't want nobody. Maybe when I'm 50, that's how I feel. But is that acceptable to the people around him? And does he have the balls, the cojones, to say, no, that's not for me. And I'm a date. It's either that, or he really does want it. He wants it. He sees the picture of it. He sees himself doing it. He wants to be there, but he's not there yet. He just can't yet, for whatever vibrational resistance still exists in him. It's like you want it, and you'll keep showing up to try to be a husband. You will keep, but you're going to keep hitting your head against the wall because I don't know what it is for him. You know, we all have to do that searching, and, you know, so I understand that. But I think it's one of those two things when it comes to Donovan. That's my hypothesis.
Well, when it comes to that, I think that's beautiful. I hear everything you're saying, but I think, I just think it's the right person coming along, that is, in short, right? Because when the right person comes along, those things that need to shift, because you find that accessibility and the tool in the other person and yourself to really like work with each other and build a home.
Yeah, I think that's absolutely part of it.
I'm gonna use like my sister and her husband. So my sister Natasha, she's not my blood sister, but she's my sister. She's been watching me since I was 5 years old, which is like 10 years ago. Yeah. Met her husband, who she's now her husband now, Ruben, when she was like 43. She was in a marriage before that, not healthy for a really long time. Then she was single for a really long time, did all the stuff, and then they found each other doing a mutual thing. Which, by the way, little shout out to them. If you're into watching two people that work together and communicate together and like are in it together and are an incredible match, go watch them on YouTube. They have their channel, which is called Two Hitchhikers. And right now they are currently building their home from scratch.
Oh, cool.
From scratch, from the ground up on their land that they bought up near Mount Shasta in Northern California.
Two Hitchhikers.
Right now. It is just such... It's what we want to see, you and I, in reality television. The way Tasha's so great at documenting it, and Ruben as well. But it's heartwarming. It's endearing. You just watch the universe working for them and with them to make sure that they're provided for, regardless of the circumstances. You see both of them complementing each other in someone else's strength and someone else's strength. It's beautiful. They produce it themselves. It's just heartfelt. It's warming. It's 10 to 15, maybe 20 minutes each episode.
Each episode? Okay.
Yeah, and they do it like they up one, low one weekly. I think their new one's coming out this week. And soon. They were just editing it. And it's the stuff that you and I keep talking about. Like, can we just watch something healthy? But like still with like life happening, but like the navigation and to move through it for two people that have done the work, continue to do the work together. And that's why you just see the universe just providing for them and making an obstacle turn into a win. Really fun. So Two Hitchhikers, check it out. I'm probably going to be shouting them out this whole season because
I love it.
People need to watch it.
It matters.
After watching something like this, you need to see a real healthy working situation.
Yes.
It's incredible.
I love that. And I'm going to actually tune in because, you know, I've always been the type to, I'm only so inspired by other people's stories. I'm very much like, okay, that's cute. That's great. That's cool. What about me? I'm talking about me. That's, you know, me. What are we doing?
Yeah.
But what I do love about seeing people like Two Hitchhikers and all these things that we're talking about, even Clifton and Joy playing out, is reminders of what to ask for, reminders of what to be cognizant of, reminders of what to get excited about and what dynamics I'm seeing, and how I am. And what, so just for example, like they're two hitchhikers, blah, blah, blah. Like I could see myself working with somebody on other things that I'm interested in or whatever the case may be, but being able to personalize the theme, the core themes and the through lines of the beauty and remembering, okay, yeah, let me add that to my list. And I would like that too. And I really like how they did this. And that would be such an amazing thing to draw in, so I'm excited. I think that's so cute. And I want to see how they produced it, of course, because that's the nerd in me, I guess, or whatever. But that sounds really cute and fun. I'm so excited for them.
They do a
great.
simple iPhone and there's
perfect.
No
that's all you need.
It's raw and it's real and it's perfect. It's perfect. I watch film and television. That's what I do. And I literally every little 10 minutes, I don't know if it's because I know them and I love them so much, but I'm literally like clapping and like crying. And
that's so cute.
So much joy. There's so much joy and it's genuine and it's beautiful. And like you said, that to cultivate that clarity of attracting then or being in that space, it's we're different in that, like, it's motivational to me. I take that and I'm
that's
like,
good.
That's beautiful. That can work for me. And I love it because they're their own definition, but the definition of a power couple. They work together to make things happen.
Yeah.
And I want that. I want my man to be I want to be in a power couple.
Yeah.
Now, my idea of what him and I do together is different from that, but just the way that they move and the awareness that it exists is enough for me, I believe, to be in that energy and frequency to then start to cultivate and be like manifesting, and all those good things they're healthy, like the good stuff, the healthy stuff.
Good stuff. It's so delicious. I'm so excited.
Yeah.
That's
even
really
makes you think you're more like, oh shit, then what is my power couple? Like I thought I knew for a long time, and I've been saying some shit and I have letters, pages, books written out describing him. But like, it's a constant evolution. Yeah, it's always constantly evolving, and then it's just gonna be fun to evolve together eventually. And that's what Ready to Love is. The whole point is are these people ready to love? Are they ready to evolve together? It looks like Clifton and Joy are ready to evolve together. They are obviously making the moves necessary to stay living together. I know other people are still together too, like Corny and what's her Camille, right? Like
Camille,
they're still together.
I guess. Yeah, I think so.
What we've seen, and they seem
That's insane
to be making it work.
They're making it work, I guess. I don't understand it.
It makes sense.
But I guess I don't have to. I'm not in it. Yeah.
Yeah, it makes sense to me because the dynamic of how I see them and watch them work, it makes sense. He's somebody that's going to lean on her being that way, and she's someone that's going to like all of it. And so they work. I mean, I don't know how long. So. I don't know if that's something I would. I mean, I wouldn't. He's not being authentic to me. That's my own personal opinion. I know a lot of people that live that way though, and they're doing just fine. So,
yeah, I don't think either one of them are being authentic to themselves. To me, they're doing themselves a disservice.
You can tell her that though. You couldn't tell her that. She won't agree with you.
And I could be completely wrong.
Yeah, who are we to say she isn't? But I guarantee you, she's going to be like, "This is me authentically, and I'm living through my truth."
Yeah. Well. Yeah, that's fine. I don't know what to say about that. Oh, B said, I wonder if Ace and Tyrone are still together. I would guess that they are.
Ooh,
I haven't seen anything lately. I didn't look, but I would guess that they are.
I would really be shocked if they weren't.
I would be shocked if they weren't.
I'd be shocked if they weren't.
Yeah, because they seem to match and make sense as well from what we saw from Tyrone in his season and what we saw from Ace in her season. I could totally see how that works. I love how warm and lit up he looks when he talks about her and their situation. It's very warm. It's warm.
It's authentic.
Yeah.
It's that frequency of love. It's that light, love, warm, dropped in ease, fulfilled,
excitement, happy, childlike
excited. You can tell that they have conversations where they just bounce and they learn and they grow, and they're just like, they are at the buffet and they're both eating very well. You know what I mean? Like, it's amazing. I love that. So I hope that they're still eating really well. I really hope so.
9 times out of 10, 99 point. I think it's
we're usually right.
Then I'm gonna have to look out there. Yeah. But I believe so because it seems very authentic, and I'm excited for that. Beautiful. We said it all. It's nice. It's really good. You could just tell.
Who else saw from this last season?
Well, let's see. Wiley's been out and about. I think he's been like doing like music things and maybe moving into acting things and having fun with entertainment and building his brand. I saw
reality
that
television is the best way to
let it be the launch pad. Right.
They are launching like crazy from reality TV. That was non-existent over 10 years ago. That was like
non-existent.
The world's ever changing. So
it is. And this is where
adapting.
We're at. Correct. Yeah. I did see that Tori and P.O. went out to some gala or I can't remember what it is, but I have seen Tori, I believe, kicking it with Sabrina #1. I think he was at Aisha's birthday party. I feel like they all get together. I saw Tori, I'll be looking at a story sometimes, taking a picture with Corny and somebody else. And then I recognize somebody that I knew from LA in the picture, blah, blah, blah. So I see him getting out with the people, mixing it up, having a good time. It looks like he traveled to Tulum, which, is one of my favorite places. I'm spending time with his child. So it looks like he's just living his life, staying connected and having a good time. Awesome. I saw that with him. I haven't seen anything on Demetrius, but I don't follow him. And I haven't heard anything about him. I haven't seen him in any of the other people's pictures and this and that. So I don't know what Demetrius is doing. It would be interesting to see, does he have a boo? Is he still single?
Right.
How's he feeling? I would like between him and who's the other guy? Laverne. I want to know what they're up to. I want an update on them.
I wonder if Laverne actually married his dog or not.
He probably did.
Did they get married to the dog?
He probably married the dog. I hope he's happy though. I'm sure he is.
Yeah.
He seems like the type. Maybe he dove into work. You know what I'm saying? Maybe he's busy. Yeah. You know what I mean? But I didn't look up. I didn't follow him. I'm not following him, so I didn't see anything. But I would bet that him and damn, what's his name that I just forgot already? Demetrius. Him and Demetrius, I kind of doubt. I don't think they're in a relationship. I don't think there's an engagement or any stuff that like Dakia and whoever had going on. I don't think that. But I could be wrong. Chef Eric, I only saw a little bit about him. I feel like he's living his best life. It looks like Precious is living her best life, traveling a little bit, just stunting for the gram, feeling cute in her swimsuits and friends and whatever she's doing. Having a good time. Carmen's all over the place. We talked about that. Yeah, I think that's it. So I'm going to play a clip that I got. Okay. I'm going to play a clip that I saw that Clifton did when he did a live. He talked for like an hour with some other guy, did an interview, whatever. But I kind of feel like a day or two after that, Carmen posted a picture and then the caption basically being like, be who you say you are type of a deal. Don't just do the talking, do the walking. And I'm not saying she was talking about, I'm not saying she was talking about homeboy.
I love it.
Call him out. But it kind of, I'm being petty, and I was kind of like, she, I'm sure she knows stuff that we don't know. And this is why I'm saying some of the stuff I'm saying about him. But let's tune into this clip. It's about 45 seconds that I pulled from a live that Donovan did on his channel.
So what the vulnerability comes from both sides. If I'm vulnerable, I need her to be vulnerable, right? We need to be vulnerable at the same time. We need to be like, we need to say, we need to, when the word submit is like, it's viewed as a bad thing, but it's not, it's submitting to each other. When you submit to someone.
Why do you think we, men and women, in that same narrative you just mentioned, why do you think we're not vulnerable? And men, we're not vulnerable, and women don't want us to be.
Because of something that's happened to us in our past. We're constantly bringing our past into our present and our future. And it will literally project our future. We are on a trajectory of failure until you make a conscious decision to say, I'm not going to be this way with this person.
It was actually a pretty good live. There were some nuggets in there, but I don't know. What were your thoughts on what we gathered from this moment?
Well, now that you told me what Carmen said, I just think men and women are this really just when you're in a certain space, you just really don't hear each other, and they point each other fingers at each other, and it's you're wrong, no, you're wrong. No one's really hearing the solution or willing to find that. So that's what it seems like from them. And I'm not surprised with that. They aren't in the same energy of love like I was speaking of, which he can talk about it all day, but he's obviously not in it if they're still blaming each other and doing that whole submissive is submitting. I don't agree with that. I think that's a little out of context. The whole submissive thing is to be submissive, to submit to each other. I don't. You don't need to submit to me. I don't need to submit to you. I want to hear you. I want to understand you so that you can hear me and I can understand you and we can just be together. But that whole let me submit, that doesn't feel healthy. That doesn't feel like it's copacetic and that there's going to be like a flow of kinetic energy vibing between us to actually have healthy relationships. Didn't like that. What was the last thing he said that he ended on?
Well, he started with talking about vulnerability, and then the last thing he kind of ended on is essentially saying if we bring our past into our present and future,
he said we're on a constant projection of failure.
Yeah, and it's going to, lead to failure, and you have to choose on
until you change.
Yeah, choose if you want to treat somebody like that.
And I agree with him in some sense to that. Like, yeah, if we're not in the awareness of what our projection of the reality that we are focused on and moving with, I wouldn't call it failure, but we're definitely not going to be living our best life. It's going to be a different experience. But when you cultivate that awareness, then yes, absolutely. When you're living authentic, your projection of your destiny seems to be in a good space. It's good, it's healthy, and the course would be corrected per se of what he's trying to say. Those types of heavy words that I try to avoid are very religious to me.
It is religious,
and they work for people. That is something that works for people. They like that weight. They like the sinner. They like the you're wrong. That works for people. It doesn't work for me because I know that from experience. That didn't work for me. I had to learn to be more gentle with myself for me to really grow. That other stuff it was counterintuitive. It was hitting a brick wall
with your head,
and just damaging the third eye, which is what's going to help you see, but it's blind and busted and black and blue and it's closed. You can't see when you're beating yourself up like that. Then you can't vibe in that frequency of love, that joy,
real love.
You're vibing in. They are vibing in love energy.
They are.
And not everyone really wants to vibe in love energy either. Some people want to live in that mundane, beat myself up religious, I'm failing and I gotta change and I'm gonna be better. Like that's this kind of energy and they like it because that's what feeds them to get stronger and better and become successful. And that energy, there are a lot of people successful in that energy. So whatever works for him, whatever works for Donovan. Obviously, homegirl Carmen was not hearing him. He wasn't hearing her. He feels like he was being authentic. She didn't perceive it that way, and vice versa. I'm watching a lot of reality television right now, more than I am like regular, scripted shows. And I can't tell you how many times I see people just not hearing each other. Oh, let me bring this up really quick. One last thing.
Do it.
I'm a huge fan of Brain Brother, and they just started the new season.
Brain Brother?
Big Brother.
Oh, Big Brother. I'm sorry.
Big Brother. And the new episode's on tonight. And from this jump of the season, I was like, I don't like anybody on the season. Like seems like a blah, but I still watch it because I'm addicted just to watching it happen. So what happened was, real quick, if you don't watch it, disclaimer, if you haven't seen the episode, whatever. I'm forgetting their names right.
Yeah.
I'm forgetting her name right now. One of the girls, I'm forgetting. She's the beauty queen. She's this really pretty black girl. And she's partnered with this one girl who's very masculine. I'm not sure if she's a lesbian or not. She used to be a cop, short hair, cool haircut, who I liked originally because I was like, cool. They're now on teams. And she was actually trying, Taylor, the girl's name. She was trying to get Taylor out. And so she started crying not because she was going to backdoor and betray Taylor, but because she had to sacrifice herself to be on the block. She started crying about that, and then started telling people like about. So Taylor thought it was about her mom. This could be wrong, but I think Taylor thought then it was about her mom because her mom is going through cancer. So Taylor thought she was crying about her mom, not about her choosing herself to go on the block like she was crying to kick out her partner. And so Taylor, with all good intentions, and I see Taylor, I know her. The way she communicates isn't for everybody, especially oversensitive people like Nicole, who's the girl I'm talking about, and this other guy, Daniel, who stepped way out of line, because she's just different. And she has a hard time being seen and heard, and I understand what that's like. But her intentions, you can tell, aren't what these other people are making it out to be. That's their own shit. So she comes in and is like, hey, because she thought it was about her mom, she goes, I understand, because they had to do a veto competition and they had to work as partners. She goes, I understand if you just you want to like give up and not, work on this because it's too overwhelming. If you need to deal with your emotions, essentially, I think what she was trying to say is, if this is too hard for you, I accept that. And it's okay if I'm going to lose as well. That's all she was trying to say. This girl spun it in a whole different perspective, going back to what I was saying a few minutes ago.
Not understanding.
Thought that she was telling her to give up and was just this whole negative energy thing. Spun it to this guy, Daniel, who then accused her of like being the reason for mental abuse or some other girl that she had nothing to do with. Paloma was the one that was actually trying to sabotage everybody. It was just this whole thing. These two people, the two sensitive artists, unfortunately, I get it, I've been there, blamed this and put this whole perspective and just blamed them and attacked her and did all this filthy shit. Just horrible bullying. And that was never this girl's intention. She wasn't being tactful. She wasn't playing the game. They were. And it's really sad. My point is that you keep watching these people and Drag Race today. I was watching Canada's Drag Race season 3, and this one guy, won this mini challenge, got to pick the guys, and he was genuinely, he said it while we're in his confessional, like, I'm just trying to pick people who I think want to win together because I want people to be happy and work well together. He saw 2 people that are friends. He winked at him and was like, you two. The one bitch had the audacity to think that he was winking at her because he was trying to sabotage her. So my point is
wowzers.
People really just
lost in translation. No.
Because they're not doing the work.
That's hard for me because I don't like being on defense. But I like to be heard and understood. So that would be a problem for me. Like, we would have to really, come back here so we can talk about this. This is what you're not going to do. It would be really challenging for me to really be like, no, you're not. Especially.
But those people won't be able to hear it. They're not going to be able to hear it.
Woo!
Because even when in Drag Race, when he was like, well, just so you know, that's not what I was doing. And she was like, okay. People, bitch. And I've experienced it in my life many times. I've experienced this so much in my life.
I can't.
People
that's hard for me.
Want to hear the truth. So many people want to live in their ideal of reality, how far-fetched from that reality it really is, and just not accept the love and light you're trying to give them and think that you're trying to be a bad person because of their own shit, because they haven't evolved enough of their own perspective to get outside their own damn ego.
Damn, that's insane. So many relationships, friendships, communications, jobs, and a lot of stuff gets ruined for stuff like that. I don't know. That's challenging because there's a lot of that. Everywhere you go.
Much in my 20s like that. I was like Taylor. I was like, my intention is good. My words are different. I'm not like you. I'm just trying. I'm being genuine. And
you're not.
All these people in Hollywood spinning it from this personal perspective that's not even real.
Calm down.
It's not real, and you're validating your own shit. It's crazy.
It's crazy.
So many crazy people.
I'm cool. I'm crazy.
So many crazy people. Point is,
right?
Donovan, Donovan and Carmen, they're not hearing each other.
But
they're
you're
not
right.
Hearing each other.
There's a few things on that, and I love how you brought the conversation full circle. They're not hearing each other, and whether it's them or not, men and women, especially Black men and women, I've been looking online for everything. It's Very interesting, because that's where it starts, people not hearing each other. And I was reading with this new moon that we're enjoying today and everything, that it's time for the masculine and feminine to unite. All of this static is going to clear. And then, you know, we have masculine and feminine within ourselves as well. So I'm just talking about all the static between masculine energy, feminine energy, whether it's within yourself or on the outside between men and women. And, you know, they're always starting the patriarchy and all this stuff. I think it's a lot of things I'm reading is saying it's time for us to come together. This is why I don't mind the discord of the conversations. This is why I don't mind the hairiness of the two situations you just brought up. Because at some point, we got to look at this and be like, wrong road.
Society doesn't want that. Society
wrong
doesn't want that.
road. I think we're
Society
getting there.
doesn't want
I'm
that.
gonna be optimistic and say we're getting there, because this is my thing with Donovan.
I believe we're getting there, but society doesn't want, is what I'm trying to say. And I'll go to my point after you do. But yeah.
Oh, yeah. I feel like I can hear with a different ear. My ear hears words and a little bit more of a vast, I'm listening with more than just words. I'm listening in totality. And I feel like what he was saying was right. He's trying to articulate, but the words, right? The words submit, the words when we're talking about vulnerability, when we're talking about bringing the past into the future and all of these things. I understand where he's coming from. I hear residue of judgment. If somebody is bringing the past into the present and the future, then at some point you or the other person is judging you or treating you accordingly to something somebody else did. Oh, if he stays out or he says this, he's just like that person and I'm not finna, or whatever it is. And then you're back to like not even hearing each other because everybody is so sure about what's going on because I've been there, I've done that, I did it. So I understand the judgment and the, Erykah Badu, bag lady. Bag lady, you gonna miss your bus, carrying all the bags like that. If you got all these bags, you can't run your race. You can't run light with the person next to you, sprint and win anything because you got sweats on, Timbs, 2 hoodies, you got bags and suitcases, and so there's no room for you to be light and present when you're moving like that. So I understood where he's coming from there. I know all about religion and Christianity, the word submit. It's a word that doesn't bother me because I understand depending on who the person is and what the context is, I get what they're saying. And I'm also not mad at him saying, the submit to each other, but I understand how the verbiage is problematic because of its root. So I try to think of other words like maybe yielding or yielding works for me. The whole point is
openness.
Willingness,
desire,
compassion for self and someone else, because it opens you up. But we have to be patient with people
because you need to be open to hear. If you're not open to hear,
but we got to be patient with people. Even with me, right? I was raised Christian. I got to be patient with myself as I undo some of the stuff that I keep. I have to have self-compassion. Like, okay, I know what that is, but I know what I mean. How do I really say that without, there's a lot. It's a lot. People are conditioned. So the same compassion I have for myself, I try to have for others when I hear them speak and try to hear the core of what they're saying. And this is why when it comes to Donovan, I was feeling like, I feel like he wants this. He wants to try. He's trying to articulate and he's trying to share and pinpoint. And I think he wants it. It's just,
I hear you now.
This is what it looks like. That. You know what I'm saying? This is what it looks like when we're all unprogramming ourselves.
But, yes.
It's not linear,
I still believe in what I said. He's just not in the right. He's in a different season.
Oh, no, but it could be that too. You know what I'm saying?
He wants
might
it,
not even want it,
He wants it. I think like you said, he does. He's just not. He's not vibing in that frequency of love yet. He's still figuring out how to get there.
He's trying. Yep. Yeah, he's pushing the rock up the hill. Like he's, So I hear him. I get what he's saying and where he's coming from. But as a woman who has left religion, who has, to the best of my ability now, and it's getting better every day, like removed myself of the expectations. I mean, when you're raised this way, this mess is embedded, and it's not until certain things come up where you have to start plucking it out and just being like, oh, but that's not even, no, I don't even think like that. I don't even care about that. I'm not tripping off that. And I don't get, like, there's just so much.
But it's been imprinted in you.
You know what I'm saying?
You have to realize you're the most susceptible when we're kids. And when you were raised like I was as well with that, that is your truth. That is the foundation. Those are the blocks underneath the earth holding your whole existence up. And it's really unhealthy. I want to go back really quick before I forget. What gets my mind is the balance of the feminine and masculine. Society doesn't want that, though, because when you find that, there's peace. There's love.
Peace.
And that means that there's less chaos. There's less adversity. There's less separation and segregation. And that's how society thrives. That's
and
how
less
they keep
money
their
being
corporations
spent
correct
on
and money made. It's just even like a Jag Race today, the second episode that I watched that I was talking about this. He's a Native American guy and he calls himself Two-Spirit. He's like, I identify with the masculine and the feminine energy, but he is a gay man, but he's called himself Two-Spirit. And he said it so well. He was like, we have always been here. It's the colonizers who have changed that narrative and have continued to try to keep it into that narrative of a not existing. And it's the truth. They call him Two-Spirit. They call him Two Eyes. Transsexual, gay people, everything has existed copacetically and harmonious. They were exalted by their tribes. They were accepted and loved and celebrated for who they were because they accept diversity. They believe in diversity. They know that the journey to genuine spirituality is to understand diversity. But colonization doesn't support that because colonization is a money machine. And when you don't give that money to them,
the money machine,
then they can't be successful. And to be open-minded and for people just let people be who they are and live freely, how are you gonna make money? How are you gonna control people?
I almost punch this phone in ring light over when you talk about the money machine because I'm sick of it. It reeks. We are to the point
but it's
of
changing.
greed.
I do believe it's changing. I do believe
it has to because the level of greed that is happening cannot sustain.
It's still going to exist
at this level.
Own world. There's going to be a separation. There has to be
a separation. Yeah,
for sure.
I want no parts. Yeah, so like you said with the colonizers, they've done a really good job. There's so many things going on that some of us talk about, some of us don't, some of us argue about, and you can see the people who just reject that reality so hard, like they're almost like a short-circuiting. Like, oh no, baby, what you heard was wrong. Yeah, look at you freaking 100%. Out. It's okay.
It's hard,
and it's hard.
I have compassion for them.
We have to,
especially
we get it
when they're not on that journey and they don't have the tools to undo, and that is their truth, and that's what's keeping them sane because that's all they know, and then they're holding on to their life because if they were to change, then they shatter their existence, reality, and they don't have the strength and the tools and the willingness and the support and the people to help them rebuild, and then they kill themselves. I get it. I understand that it is way bigger than all of us. It just, so stay where you are then, and that's fine.
Or just keep climbing, and some of us will support and have compassion. Whatever it is. And whatever it is. There's plenty of people and energy around here. Yeah, exactly. B says, I'm Roman Catholic. Likewise, I used to go to church as a kid. It's not for me. Yeah. You grew up in that. Yeah, and I did the Christian thing. So I understand. I don't, Catholicism and Christianity, I know they have their differences, but at the end of the day, it's still beliefs, that are very destructive to the cultivation of our innate power.
Well, Catholics consider themselves Christians. Christians don't consider Catholics Christian.
Yeah, no, I grew up like that. Like, we're not Catholic, so that's not what we're doing.
But Catholics are like, what, I'm Christian. They're like, no, you're not. I'm like,
yeah, so see, it's just too much. Like, what are we doing?
Go. Bye.
Like, bye. I'm not going to participate. And there's so many things that I'm saying, because this is something I just, was able to grasp in such a way this year. And there's just so many realizations and things that I'm going through, and it feels so good. It feels good. And this is how I know it feels light. And it allows me to actually dive deeper into who I am. And this is why, yes, again, back to Donovan, it's like, I don't know his life. I'm just sharing from my perspective and little things that I'm seeing and what could possibly be happening. Let's just call him an avatar for people who are going through this all the time. And at some point, you're just like, you start to loosen some of these bricks up so you can actually move and breathe. And now you can move your arms and you can mess around and do a toe touch in this mug now that you've.
I wish I could still do a toe touch. But yeah,
I'm going to try. I saw somebody playing on trampoline and I was like, oh, I want to do a toe touch.
Myself.
I was watching Real Housewives of Atlanta.
See?
And Kenya was trying to do a toe touch. I was like, not quite, girl, but you do that toe touch.
That forward motion of the hamstring.
Too much.
I am so injured from a lot dancing.
Yeah. But yeah, so I have compassion for myself and I have compassion for others as they try to use language and understanding and break through with these new ideals. And it's like, I hear what you're saying. Just keep going. Keep going. We're all doing that.
I think what it's led me to why I just really am going to start pushing forward and doing my life coaching and mentoring and all that stuff to help people deal with this stuff that are willing and wanting to push past that stuff. But there's nothing more important to me this lifetime than shining and sharing my light with people and helping them ignite theirs and see their own. So that's really where I'm really putting a lot of my intention and energy into. But, hi,
I'm on the same path.
Glad, B. Yes, we are. We understand that. I have to put myself on tape, speaking of. So I wanted to do something really quick, though. From the little trailer, do you have any thoughts of what's going to happen this season, or any predictions? I have some wild predictions that I'm just going to go with. What are yours?
Okay, so since I don't have predictions, I will share what advice Sabrina, Dakia, and Precious gave to the new cast. I watched an interview that they did because I'm sorry, I didn't see the trailer and I saw just one moment of these girls sweating this one guy. I can't pull anything from it. So Sabrina from last season, her advice to the new cast is be authentic. Don't worry how people perceive you so you have no regrets when the show is over. Don't put on, and it's a roller coaster ride until you get off. I'm like, girl.
And if you're authentic when you watch it at the end, then you'll learn regardless, and that's
no regrets. Yeah, you can
but
only.
If you're not authentic, you're gonna stay stuck if that's where you are.
Correct. And Dakia, yes, the great Sabrina 2.0 came through with the advice. Dakia said, if you're really looking for love, you want people to fall in love with you. So she was piggybacking off of, yes, be authentic, be yourself. If you're looking for love, you want people to fall in love with who you actually are. She said, don't be a Bama for the camera. And she was like, also don't take the good to your head and don't take the bad to your heart. And I thought that was that's some key dating advice. Don't let the good get to your head and don't let the bad get to your heart. So that's what Dakia's advice was. And Precious said, have fun, be authentic. And she did throw in there, she was like, clearly everybody thought I partied the whole time, but I don't see it that way. I was like, so that's what the girls had to say for the new cast.
Awesome. Great advice.
Correct.
Easier said than done. I think when it's your first time, a lot of people are going to find themselves, so they're going to find who they are authentically afterwards, like a lot of these people have that we talk about. It takes this experience to open you up to understand yourself sometimes. When you're not in that constant lens of all of it, of life, and under your own lens and awareness and consciousness of how you move and stuff like that. You got to see yourself from the outside. That's how I grew, just stepping outside myself spiritually and physically and watching myself on TV. Just all of it in my craft. But
what predictions do you have? What are you seeing?
Grand prediction, my one intuitive prediction, which I hope is wrong, but just from watching it that minute, is that there will be one couple that lasts. Like one couple that actually lasts. Just that,
not again.
Lasts. I think so. That's just what my intention.
But that's it's better than out of 11 people, one is. I'll take.
That's a lot.
I'll take it. Mm-hmm.
Could be wrong. I hope 4, 5, 6. I hope all 11. But
shut up. No way.
But that was just what my instincts were when I saw the drama and the energy and the thoughts and the process and read their auras and all that stuff. I was like, ooh. And I just, Miss Cleo was like, one couple will survive just like usual, and then they'll do the whole, oh yeah, we're together, just like they do, and then they'll break up. But like one will authentically survive again. And you know what? Hey, that's better than none. So we'll see.
It's better than none.
And so we'll start finding out tomorrow.
Oh my God, tomorrow's the show, y'all. I'm excited to watch. We wanted to do this pre-show and come to you because we miss you. There's been a lot of things that's happening, you know, that has happened between last season and this, which is good because we didn't get to breathe the last 2 seasons. It was just like
this will be good, hopefully. In that sense.
Now we have a moment and we can get back into it.
I think what was hard too from last time, it was that it wasn't that like, I'm just, as I say this, I'm thinking it, or you know, it's coming around my mouth, is that I don't think it was that we didn't breathe. It was just the same type of energy as the last season, the same city, the same vibe, the same kind of construct. This in Miami, I have a feeling is going to be different.
It will be different.
Like
I get
everything.
you.
If it was like DC to Miami, it wouldn't have. But that last time it was hard because it was like I just watched
it was like DC to Potomac. Yeah,
and it was like, you know, it was like the 2.0, but like more like the B batch is what it felt like. The second.
It did feel like a B batch, and not to discredit anybody, but I loved the season before last. But it did feel like the last season was just like, hey, did you guys want to come back? You know what I'm saying? Are you still interested?
Yeah.
And that's fine.
So anyway,
yes, Miami will bring a different vibe. I'm excited.
And then we'll see them next week. Tomorrow, unfortunately, I can't go live. I think, Jaimi, are you going to still go live?
I might just pop in, you know, but you guys have already seen us tonight. It's Thursday. You'll be fine. You will survive the weekend. We'll come to you perhaps Monday and do the after conversation for episode 1. Then after that, we would love to see you guys Friday nights after the show so we can talk about the shenanigans that we have seen. So be ready, share with a friend, chat with us, be in the comments, because, you know, we're the only after show that really dives deep into personal life lessons, really going deeper into the scenarios of things as opposed to just gossiping about what the people are doing. We really want to talk and understand and dive deep and grow from what we're watching. And I believe that there's growth in everything that we see if we choose to pick it out and play with it a little bit and make it, you know, make it work for us. So we all got stories. We're all out here trying. So let's have some fun on these conversations.
Go watch the traditional recap. Sabrina does a great job of that. And other people, go watch them and hear about the show and the experience of that. Now we're talking about life and the
growth,
ever-growing
compatibility
evolution that we call life and
humanity.
It's fun.
Yeah.
Really, at the end of the day, we're just talking as best friends. We talk about this shit anyways. And if you enjoy it, awesome. If you don't, peace out. But hopefully we'll see you. And, you know, it won't just be us having a conversation, and we'll all enjoy a nice, beautiful conversation about life.
Yeah. Thank you guys for watching. I was going to say like, share, comment, subscribe, but I think I probably should have said at the beginning. I'm getting better at this. But you can still do that.
Promoting it.
How about that, right?
Yeah.
All right, y'all. Right. Have a great night. Thank you for joining us. Seeing you on Monday. And yeah. Peace.
All right. I got to go work. I love you.
Bye.
Bye. I'll call you later.